should probably
Oh, I may
just
have
hold
opened
it.
that. All right, just take it up.
Okay. I joined Twitter because my kids were on it. Sam and Katie had just gotten married, and they were very, technologically forward-thinking, not so good with the concept of this is a phone, you push numbers, that wasn't really happening. But I joined Twitter, and so every day I got these little updates about my kids. And so that was great, but it turned out that joining Twitter had some unexpected benefits. Somehow, I heard the words guerrilla drive-in. Don't even know where I heard it. But I heard that there was something called guerrilla drive-in and that they had a Twitter. So I hooked myself up with that. And I started getting guerrilla drive-in tweets. And they're like, we're going to have a show. It's going to be great. If you can get to this show, you're automatically a member of Guerrilla Drive-In. It's going to be in the snow, and we're going to watch The Thing. And I'm like, I really want to be a member of Guerrilla Drive-In, but I hate horror movies, and I really, really, really hate being cold. So, okay, I guess this is not my time. This is not going to happen for me. But I keep getting the tweets. And so then I start getting these tweets, as the weather warms up and the season is really starting, oh, our first show, it's going to be great, you should, and I don't know, I shouldn't assume that you guys know how this works. Guerrilla Drive-In was this thing that you kind of had to belong to. And in order to belong to it, you had to achieve something. There were just different sort of rites of initiation. It changed every year. There was a sort of quest that you had to go on. And so I, needed to know how to go on this quest, and I didn't really think of myself as somebody who was very good at cracking that kind of puzzle. But I started to get these tweets, and it's like, the show's going to be great. We're going to see a movie, can't tell you what it is, but I'll give you a hint. It had Michael J. Fox in it and came out in 1980, whatever. And I'm thinking, I never seen that movie all the way through. Believe it or not, I somehow had reached the age of late 40s without ever having seen Back to the Future all the way through. So, okay, this is a movie I actually want to see. And he's dropping hints about what you have to do, and I'm like starting to catch on. I'm like, I get it. I know what I have to do. So I start tweeting, I've figured out the Guerrilla Drive-In quest, and we're going to go. So I'm tweeting things like that. And pretty soon, I get this like bzz in my pocket, and it's this number I don't recognize, and it says, good luck on your quest, signed John Young. I'm like, whoa, how do you do that? Like, I didn't know about direct message through tweet, so that blew my mind. This guy I don't even know is like texting me, wow, this is the future. So we pick our day, that we're gonna go and get ourselves initiated into the Guerrilla Drive-In. And it was a good day because we were, my daughter was getting old enough she was going back and forth from college. She'd spent the summer with us. It was lovely. We were putting her back on a plane. I knew I was going to be sad. So basically we planned to just put her on the plane and then go and do the quest, So that's good. We have something constructive to do, and I won't just be sitting around doing that lame mom thing, So that's fine. So we know that we need to go to the canoe rental. And so we get in the car, and I'm like, it's all good. I know where this place is. It's fine. We're going to go out to Northbrook Canoe, and then so we're driving, and I'm like telling my husband where to go, and we find the canoe rental, and we pull in, and you're supposed to turn on your car radio, and you're supposed to be able to hear like a really low wattage signal is giving you this code. And so we're turning on the car radio, we're not finding the code. And we're like driving all around this. I mean, it's a canoe rental, there's not a lot of it, but we're kind of driving around it. We're not hearing the code. We're getting more and more confused. People are starting to like wonder what is up with us. And so eventually, like somebody comes up to us in our car and, approaches our vehicle as we're driving around their property and says, can we help you with something? Are you looking for something? We're like, well, we're on this we're looking for the Guerrilla Drive-In signal. And they look at us like we have two heads. We're like, okay, that wasn't the right way to explain it. So I said, well, we're on this kind of scavenger hunt. We're looking for a radio transmitter? Nothing's happening. And so we're like, well, we're not really sure what to do next. And so we just start, my husband, he's just so interested in everything and everybody, and it's great. So he just starts asking questions randomly, so what all do you guys do out here? And, what do you think is the best way to start if you're going to rent a canoe? So they just start talking about their business. And they're like, well, we do this, we do that, and, we have this one program that we really like. Now, Northbrook Canoe doesn't offer this program. This is special to us. We look at each other. We look at the sign above the office. We are not at Northbrook Canoe. That would explain why we're not getting a radio signal. So we say, as politely as we can, thank you very much for your time. See you later. So we get back in the car. I don't know how we ever even figured out where Northbrook was. We probably called one of my kids and had them Google it for us. So we finally find Northbrook. They know all about guerrilla driving. They are totally hip to this situation. They tell us where to go. We get our picture taken. We get the radio signal. We get the code. By now I've figured out how to DM John Young, because now I'm cool like that. So, I DM him the code so that I can be on the list. And he sends us the invite. And we get to go see Back to the Future on top of the parking garage, the old parking garage downtown, where you could see the clock tower. So we're sitting, looking at the screen, the clock tower. The DeLorean Club came out with all the DeLoreans, people dressed up. They said come in costume, and I was like, yeah, I still have some 80s clothes, I can do that. Oh no, we're talking a replica of the prom dress costume, that kind of costume. Somebody brought, I don't even know how this is logistically possible, somebody brought a sofa, a living room sofa to the top of the garage and set it up in front of the screen. They're just chilling, eating their popcorn on top of the garage, watching Back to the Future with the clock tower in the background. It was great. It was so much fun, and so much better way to end the day than just sitting in my house going, oh, well, my daughter went to school. So, this is all just fantastic. Now, not everyone in my family is this hooked up to social media. So a little later, I was calling my mother with this thing called a phone that has buttons that you push and you use your voice to communicate, because this is how she does things. And so I told her this story. I told her all about the quest and the movie and the garage and the DeLoreans. And my mother, I think, just summed up the whole thing when she said, that sounds like fun. I'm glad people still have fun.